Okay, hello. Hello, everyone. It's nice to be on the stage. Maybe a little bit too soon. But hopefully I have my presentation okay. 1, 2 on the slide. So once again, I'm very honored to be today on the stage. It was like my second time overall in India. And I hope, and today we have a lot of colleagues from Moscow as well together with me, and I hope you will see us more often these years, because we have a lot of hopes for India. And today we want to establish a connection with you, talk with you, and understand much more, because India actually is not so far away from Russia. Okay. Just if you cannot hear me, because you know I move, you can raise your hand. Like Dmitry, we cannot hear you. Okay? Thank you. So today I wanted to give you a brief overview of Kaspersky, what we're offering, what we're aiming for, to provide maybe a little bit more visibility about who we are, if you're not yet familiar, because sometimes people and the market perceive us as a player who is working on the antivirus field and antivirus only. And today I will try to show you a little bit more about the company and what we're doing. So first I wanted to start with a bit explanation about our expertise that we have in Kaspersky and what we're working on, a little bit about our portfolio, some direction that we took in our ecosystem, including single management platform, corporate cybersecurity, OT cybersecurity, threat intelligence, and services. I'll try to be brief, but it's if you need more details, because each topic we can discuss for hours. You have me here, we have our pre-sales team together with us today here, and we can provide much more information if you will be interested. So let's start with a few points. When I thought like what I wanted to show to you, actually I wanted to highlight some problems or issues or challenges that we're facing in the day-to-day operation. And I hope you understand and connect to these specific points. Like, for example, we understand that IT landscape is changing every day, and it brings us new opportunities, new possibilities, but at the same time, of course, it's creating some new risks that we need to mitigate somehow. And this is in our day-to-day operation. We need to understand what we need to do and how to move forward. Of course, we're talking about a lot of different types of attack, and one of which is quite painful one. It's type of a supply chain attacks that is a bit of headache for our cybersecurity officers. Still, when the cyber criminal evolving, we have challenges of having cybersecurity specialists and experts working on our side and helping us to drive our cybersecurity posture further. We have regulatory and compliance requirements, and one point that I want to stress out a little bit more, it's the attacks that we're talking about becoming more and more massive, more sophisticated. You see it like every day on the news story about the new technique, the new way how the cyber criminals try to attack your customers like yourself. And here we have a lot of different attacks over the year. But for this point, Dmitry here, who is actually a global researcher, will explain a little bit more about the threat landscape in the last presentation for today. And I really want to ask you to listen to Dmitry, because he got a lot of valuable insights. What I wanted to highlight here, we monitor and have information about a lot of attacks that's happening nowadays. And the technique and the way how the cyber criminals act may be completely different, from very simple step, but maybe very efficient, to the huge, complex cybersecurity campaigns that targeted the state-owned companies, for example. And as you can see on the slide, in the top countries who is affected by such activity, India is one of the such countries in top 10 countries around the world. And it means that in this landscape, customers, small companies, medium companies, the big enterprises, they face some issues that they need to retaliate somehow. So we talk about these hundreds of billions of attacks, how we can actually manage to defend ourselves against it. And first of all, of course, you need to build the methodology how to research and investigate such threats. And you cannot do it just by the human hands. I mean, you need the tools, you need the automation, and you need tools that are infused with artificial intelligence. Because if we're talking about millions of attacks, it can be done by human. You need the help from the machine. You need the artificial power to do it. And in Kaspersky, we worked for more than 25 years in order to understand how exactly we can put our expertise from our hands, from our heads, to the technology we're having. And this is what we're building, and Eugene Kaspersky himself believes it's one of the main directions for us nowadays, is secured by AI products and portfolio. So when we're talking about the expertise centers, just to give you a glance that we're not, initially we were like engineers back in the days, and if you work with us like for more than 10 years, you remember that we were more engineer-driven company. And behind the product facade, there is expertise and the qualities that we building and developing. So the first one, of course, comes from our practitioners. So the guys who is researching incidents on the customer side, the guys who are providing the managed detection response services. This is practitioners who are providing us real-life information about some specific cases. We have a threat research, a huge department, threat research, that actually focuses on the researching and improving the tools to find and investigate the threats. We have a great team, and Dmitry here is a representative of the global research team. This is the guys that, for example, if you heard in the news that Kaspersky discovered new huge APT attacks, usually behind the research of such attacks that comes this Kaspersky Elite Force, the great team. We have special ICS cert that actually was one of the first in the world. In 2016, we built ICS cert specifically dedicated to the OT problematic. And this cert now operating and provided a lot of valuable information to the certs around the world. And to connect all this together, we have a technology solution infrastructure stack based on the AI technology. And for us, it's not only about implementing some kind of AI model into the product. It's actually, we're working in the direction of how to make AI more secure. What do I mean by secure? Did anyone heard the news about how the AI helps to create the malicious tools? Anyone heard about such? Yes. So the thing is, the tools that provide us much benefit that also can be used in the wrong way. And we as cybersecurity practitioners aiming to create a framework and methodology to make such tools safer, meaning they will not create an additional harm and overheat for ourselves. Because nowadays, for example, if to create a phishing attack, you can spend less than 1 minute to create it. And this is something we need to work with. We need to find a way how to mitigate such. So this is what at core and what is our core expertise. So return back, so how we try to address it, address the challenges that we have. First of all, from the product perspective, we're creating the holistic platform to control our environment, endpoint, network, IT, perimeter, and even the OT operations. We create automation and using our GenAI tools, and of course we pay a lot of attention to third-party integration. We understand that we live in the world where we're not alone, and we believe that integration with a different solution is a key element to succeed. I understand that sometimes we talk a lot about the holistic ecosystem, But in reality, in the real production nowadays, it's very, very hard to build everything completely on one specific system. That's why we aiming and investing a lot in the integration part. So, talking about the portfolio. As I mentioned, there is a two big part for us that we're working on. One, it's, let's call it corporate cybersecurity and everything related to it. Another part, it's what we call industrial and OT cybersecurity direction. So basically, as you may notice, it's not about, we not say it's antivirus for corporate or say antivirus for industrial. We're talking about the protection and risk mitigation using specific control measures in such environments. And to have a connection between these two worlds and connection between different product and third-party application, we have open single management platform. Who is already familiar with this concept from the Kaspersky, like single management platform? Maybe somebody already hear about it? No? Okay, so then I will tell you. In our ecosystem, also we have a lot of different products. But to get the more value from this such different solution stack, it's very good to connect the dots. Because even, for example, if we talk about locations, the lateral movement, it's good to have a visibility over the endpoints and over the network. So we can build an interesting map of how the attack spreading through your network and where is the key points where you can stop it. So to do so, you need to orchestrate it using the single platform that provides you with such visibility. And there you can, of course, create a different automation and orchestration scenarios. You can do all the needed for incident management. You can use playbooks that we created for you, or if you have your specialist, you can create your own playbooks. And we can guide you with this direction. So basically what I'm trying to say that a single management platform, it's a global orchestrator for our products and tool to integrate with additional tools you have in your environment. One second. So how it looks from the product perspective, I know it's a little bit busy slide, that's why I'm told in the beginning to connect with the people here in audience to understand every brick separately. What I just wanted to highlight, that we're talking about, at least from our portfolio perspective, about endpoint networks and the cloud workload. And we have approach for each of these segments using portfolio that we have, sorry, integrated with XDR corporate console, which is the single management platform. And through this single management platform, we can connect with the OT XDR. And the solution stack that we have for endpoints, SCADA servers, network in the industrial environments, and so on and so forth. Basically, all these tools is needed to have the investigation graph, logs management, threat detection, cross-correlation, reporting, and so on and so forth. But basically, main aim here to enhance the security operations that you have. Because, okay, how many people here have a security operation team, like 10 people or more? Anyone? Okay, of course, I see. So, when we in an initial step of building security operation, or we are trying to find a way, I have a security operation already and I need to improve, there is already like a different roads we can choose. And from our side, we're trying to help our customers, help government entities, help CERTs to understand how we can proceed and further enhance our operation to tie this to the activity and the real world life scenario. So basically, if we split the software, we create some services that helps to run Security Operations Center. And of course, first of all, it's managed detection and response, which help to provide an additional insights to Security Operation team. just an example. Yesterday during the event, I used a USB stick to send the presentation to, to the control room. Unfortunately, I don't know which USB stick it was infected. Infection it was some kind of minor, it's not big deal, but still it was a new threat. That's why when I input it, it was not detected by signature, but it was detected by behavioral analysis. And the thing is, when the behavioral analysis strike, there is some things that we need to investigate. And basically, 5 minutes on the stage, I got a call from the Security Operations Center from our side, like, Dmitry, what are you doing right now? And I say, okay, yes, I have the USB, it was infected, probably we may have a problem. Okay, Dmitry, don't worry, I see we created some files, could you please send us this file so we will investigate and tell you what's happening. After 2 hours, they said, okay, it's minor, no problem, remove this, and so on and so forth. So basically, this is kind of operational help in a real life month scenario where the guys need to have an access to the quick response. And sometimes I know, for example, if you don't have the big team and, for example, like the big FSIs companies, they have hundreds of people in security operation, they can afford such support. But if not, there can be an additional help to run the security operations. Of course, there is help with the investigation, because if you struck and if there is some kind of compromise, our experts can help to mitigate what threats is happening right now. It's incident response emergency. When we talk about the building the SOC, we're aiming on the different core technology stacks that we use ourselves. We have a SIEM solution, XDR platform, NDR platform, and of course the EDR. And this is our core stack for the Security Operations Center, which we also driving as an on-premise installation, for example, for you, or we're working through the partners to provide some MSSP services. But during the build side, there is also a question, okay, of course we understand you have your solutions that you want to propose, but how about the process, the methodology that we need to use? How many people we need to hire, what kind of room we need to build, how to create the dashboards, how to create the incidents for the, or how to create the playbooks for the if incident happens. For this type of question, we provide the consultancy, how we can create SOC from, let's call it like from 0 to hero, but at least from the maturity level 0 to 1, 2, or 3. So basically, it doesn't matter if you're just beginning or you're in the middle or you're already on the finishing line. Today, we have something to add to you. And the third part, it's improving part. When you already have the operation, this is some technology stack that we can provide. The first of all, it's intelligence. I'll speak a little bit more about it in the future. And different type of assessments and training for your team, because we do believe that training is essential if you need to be leg to leg with the current and the future environment. So, sorry, clicker is moving a little bit slow. Nope. Okay, so, yes. So, just a few words about CIEM, and we have a product director who is responsible for this direction today. It's Ilya Markelov here, and he will explain a little bit more about CIEM. First of all, yes, we are on the market of CIEM. I don't know if you heard about it. It's more than 5 years already in practice and real implementation. So what I wanted to highlight, that all necessary tools and experience, of course, from the past, from different vendors, help us to tailor the approach to the current log collection, correlation, to provide the necessary and needed scenario for yourself. And this is one of the solutions that we invest in quite a lot, and we provide a lot of materials, information, help, consultancy regarding this. And the team in India, also focusing this direction. So if you will have any question about CIAM, how it operates, you can contact me, contact the team in this venue. And of course, there will be more information from the Ilya. So this is one of the building blocks for Security Operations Center. And the second one is NDR solution, because I will talk about EDR because I hope you know that since we started as an endpoint vendor, for us NDR it was like a natural evolvement, and of course we have the EDR solution. But what is probably missing from the side that almost 10 years we're working on the network protection. More than 10 years we're working. So slides is not clicking again. We're working on the NDR solution that we also can provide to the market. And this is one of our focused area as well. And this is important building block because it's great to have the security and control over the endpoints, but without network visibility and connected to the connected to existing map to create the investigation graph, of course you need to have a network visibility and control over what's happening on the network. Okay. Yeah, sorry, clicker moving a little bit slower, so maybe I run a little bit faster here. So this is what I wanted to just to highlight. As you may notice from the picture, there is a lot of different projects we are driving. But what I wanted to highlight, it's helping to create the security operations SOC. It's focus on the XDR solution, CIAM, and NDR solution. This is what we call like the major corporate building blocks. But also we have an industrial environment with, it's a bit different world, of course, created differently and evolving differently during the years. So basically we understand how it works here on this level in the office. Yes, but when you go to industrial, we're facing a different type of operation machine, the SCADA servers, different type of network protocols that we need to understand and analyze. And it also means that attack on such facility also will be different. Of course, they use a common technique, for example, using the USB sticks, using the lateral movement and the pattern is very similar. But the way how to detect it is different. And the way how we can be implemented within the technological process, it's also different. That's why actually today we have Andrei Strelkov as well, director for the OT products. He will explain a bit more about the industrial scenario. What I just wanted to highlight that we operate not only on the office level, but at the level of industrial. And now industrial, it's not anymore, it's still, of course, very closed. But many different companies, first of all, manufacturing companies, they decide that digitalization can bring more money, meaning they, for example, improve the process. Some of the plants even are connected to the internet, which never happened before, like 10, 15 years ago. So, and we see more and more smart OT devices connected to different industry, and this is good and very agile approach, but at the same time it's a new risk surface that we need to work with. So for here on the industrial level, we provide specific tools to help and understand what's going on in the industrial network, and the tools to protect the endpoints and the machines on the industrial level, with the level of necessary level of like guidance, how not to break anything and during the implementation. And for the several years already, we are talking about not only like a classic approach to the protection, but also for IT environment, we see it's necessary to build the same XDR approach that we have in a corporate network. We need to connect the dots. We need to understand what happened, and sometimes we need to have a visibility what's happening in OT environment that leads to the problem in the environment of industrial, if this is connected. And usually, in real life scenario, we found out that sometimes people, and especially administrators, tend to create special tunnels, special connection from the office to the industrial plants, just because it's convenient and easy to manage if some cases happened. But the same tunnels, the same connection can be used for the malicious activity, unfortunately. So in order to have a full control and full visibility over what's happening, we're creating a OT XDR platform and approach for critical infrastructure. So, when we talk about different threats, it's not only about the products, of course, and I know maybe I talk a little bit more about the products, but there is what is necessary also is to have the knowledge, intelligence. Usually, you know, the word threat intelligence and the term, it comes from the military back in the days, yeah, because it's about getting as much possible information about your enemy movement, intentions, tactics, what they're trying to achieve, and so on and so forth. Basically, in cyber world, it's the same. We need to understand what our adversary is doing, how they operate, how we need to understand if something happening in our network. And here we provide tool service for the threat intelligence solution, which we collect all over the world, but most importantly, we are sitting in a location where many, let's say, smart people sitting and use their brains not for the sake of the protection, but otherwise, for the sake of the attacking. I'm talking about, of course, the Russian-speaking region, the Asia region. We have actually a presence in Middle East, Africa, still have information about what's going on in America, especially Latin America. And this type of information and information about attacks that's happening on a different part of the globe, it's helpful because what we see, if something happened, for example, in Brazil, few weeks, it's happening in India. So it's traveling across the globe. And vice versa, by the way. Something happened in India, it goes like we find it in the Middle East. So here we provide human-readable threat intelligence, which you can use for your analysts, for example. Different tools like reporting, which is like information about the current adversary, how they operate, what they're aiming for today. Tools to understand and find more context about the attacks, like threat lookup. Basically, it's like Google for threat. You provide information that you have, you get the answer from our analytical system, what we know about this kind of threat. This is something to help to make you the right decision and action during the investigation phase in your company, or even incident response, and so on and so forth. And of course, there is machine-readable information that we provide for, I don't know, for example, CIM system, or network security application, which helps to infuse with additional information. We have different IOCs, different contexts that will help also to create blocking rules, for example, automatic blocking rules, and reduce overheat for our security operation managers. A few words about the services. As I mentioned, we're trying not only to provide, we provide you a solution and that's it, goodbye. We're trying to provide something that will help you to, first of all, to use the solution. Secondly, understand what maybe you're missing in terms of, are you prepared for some specific attack? Like we see there is a huge ransomware campaign going across Asia Pacific. Are we prepared to face it? Are we close on this direction? Are we resilient to targeting this specific threat actor who is targeting your specific environment? Or are you aware about credentials that is already leaked and selling on the dark web and somebody has an access to your company network? Are you absolutely sure that you haven't been breached? I know it sounds like a maybe paranoid question, but it's very real in a world because many companies we work with didn't know about the attack they have till they start some research. And the attack was there, for example, for several months. Sometimes it was like even 8 months. Something was sitting in the network and nobody was aware. No indication, and of course no retaliation because of this. So how you make sure that nothing happening right now in your network? What is your practice there? And we have provide and at least guide how to find the sensors. And what I mentioned as a service for do want to be continuously protected, it's about the MDR. Because you can build your own practice, you can have guidance how to build it, or you can have an additional external help, to help you to drive this day-to-day operation in a management perspective. This is what about the MDR and incident response. What is, I have a really fast go through the portfolio. And as I mentioned, and I will repeat it over and over again, any questions, some specific details, we can share more, and we will have plenty more time during the event. I just wanted to mention that we're also looking to the future. We're also trying to bring new methodology and new design. And for example, when we first created like cyber immune concept, we were very proud back in the days that, for example, Gartner took this term and used this in their report. Of course, it was back in the day, but still we are proud that we are looking in the right direction. And we're still working on what we call the cyber immune future. And to facilitate these efforts, probably you heard we have Kaspersky operation system development. It's not like operation system where we're not aiming to replace Windows, but it's operation system for the OT environment. Some specific designated devices, smart devices that we have, to infuse them with the operation system that is lacking of the common vulnerabilities that is usually happen when you use just some kind of Linux core or use embedded Windows system. And we already have some project in this direction, but we're aiming more, and even when we talk, for example, there is a lot of smart services already, and probably in India you have like smart city projects, and this is exactly where we see such solution and such implementation will be useful the most. Because it's much easier to prevent something from happening in the front, from the beginning, then later investigate, response, and create some additional measurement and risk assessment in the future. So this is what we have nowadays. This is our plans. This is how we aiming to follow it through. And having said this, thank you so much for your attention. And if you have any questions, please contact us and we'll be happy to provide answers. Thank you so much for your attention.